JetBlue Park in Fort Myers has been quiet. Everything in baseball has been quiet since it was shut down. And we've gotten some word of the proposal to get it going once again. And we're talking about it. The Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley, and NESN Red Sox analyst, baseball analyst, joining me now. Finally outside bronzing, as you deserve to be, Eck. How are you?
Good, really good.
Hey, you called me over the weekend. You were one of the first people I heard from after the 67-page safety protocol proposal got unleashed, and we've all been reacting to it ever since. What was your reaction when you read all of this?
Well, as you knew, when I talked to you, I was kind of wild about it. It's like, crazy. It seemed, there's just so many things, so many different ways to go in this thing. The thing that stood out is not being able to take a shower, stuff like that, all the little stuff, spitting and all that kind of silliness. But it just goes to show you, the lengths they're going to have to go to get this done. The players, they probably wouldn't have agreed to the biosphere, obviously. So this is what you're left with, And to me, if the players, like you said to me before, it's like if the players weren't afraid before, they sure are now after reading that, right?
Well, what I feel when and I haven't read the whole thing, but I've read reports of it. I think you're the same. There isn't one thing in there that makes you go, oh, you can't do that. You can do every one of those things, but as you keep going, it adds up. And these guys, baseball players, will basically be doing everything different. Like there is nothing normal about it. But then again, isn't that our lives right now? There's nothing normal about our lives right now, right?
Well, I'm sure they agree. They're going to have to do what they need to do, but to be hyper responsible. Really, we all are in a way, but to have your whole life like that on the road, and at home, you have to make sure, back and forth from the ballpark. You know how it is. And then the routine, we talked about routines too. They're out the window, sort of. You think about a hitter, they said no indoor batting cages and stuff like that. That's little teeny stuff, but the life, I'd love to see what it's going to look like, that day in the life of a baseball player, right? You go from where, get a camera there and see what he has to go through. I'd love to see what that looks like. I think we all can just sort of guess maybe, but you do what you have to do. And that's why they're at this point anyway. Meanwhile, we've got this money issue that's just lingering. Right. And they've got to get to that or we've got nothing.
Haven't even gotten to that. And you wonder now if the sides are digging in a little bit, even on that before it's proposed. You hear stories that they don't want to hear about, they don't want to give the economic proposal until the union says they're open to discuss. The union says we're not open to discuss until we see it. We've been down this road before and it doesn't always end well.
No, TC, there's so much money involved. That's the thing. It'd be easy for us to say, well, in a perfect world, not a perfect world, but you probably wouldn't even attempt this. And there's everybody wants to bring the game back to the fans, but that's about money. There's just too much money involved. And if there's a way, they're going to find a way to do it. And you saw where, California, the governor just opened up California. So there's a lot of things that were in the way, but they're slowly but surely, everything's sort of opening up.
Yeah, we had a NASCAR race on TV over the weekend, right? They're playing soccer in Germany, horse racing, golf we had a little bit over the weekend. Do you think all of that adds pressure to the two sides to get a deal done so there's baseball this summer?
Oh, I totally agree. Like if the NBA was starting to kick in or the NHL was starting to kick in, that's pressure on baseball. You can't, all of a sudden they're going and then baseball decides, well, we just can't do it because we couldn't come to terms. That's like, there's no way you end this thing because of money. They're going to do everything they can to start this thing. It may not be July 4th, but they're going to try. There's no doubt about it.
What do you think the deadline is? Like, when do they have to get a deal done by to make this viable?
To me, I think we'll know, June 1. We've been saying this for a while. June 1, you've got to have everything in place. Now, whether or not you start July 4th, to me, the drop dead date is when can you start, the latest you can start. Because if you start in August, we're going to go into October. And that's what their fear is, not being able to get those playoffs in. Because that's where all the money is. Once again, back to the money. That's where all the money is. They got to get to the playoffs.
I feel on the side of the screen, we should have the Eck confidence meter that goes up and down each week. So where is it right now, Eck? Are we above 50, below 50, or right around 50?
I'm 50, right? I'm just 50. I can't go either way. Because if you told me they're not playing, I'd go, But if you told me they would, I'd go, whatever. I think you're the same way. You know, you can go either way. It's daily.
Yeah. Yeah, there have been times where I was absolutely convinced they were going to play sooner rather than later. And then there were days you read through stuff and you say, it's not going to happen. I think 50-50 is probably basically the best place to be right now. If you were pitching right now, go back 20 years ago, you're pitching, what would you be doing to stay ready for if you get the word that's going to begin as a pitcher, but to stay mentally, like you couldn't follow this day to day, would you? Because the ups and downs would drive you nuts.
Oh, you know, I'm anxious. Hello, to say the least. You know, that's my whole thing. I would be idling right now. As far as physically, I'd be idling. You know, getting my throwing in. You know, I'd have a plan, throwing, trying to be ready. You know, easier for a reliever than a starter. But as far as mentally, I don't know. I mean, it's hard. You got to meditate. You know, you do. You got to mellow out and let it come to you. But you can't help but, you know, anticipate what's going to happen. What do I got to, you know, it's just going to be a different world mentally. You know, everybody's on edge, man.
I was watching I think we all were The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan stuff. We all need a little Phil Jackson in our life right now. We need that Zen master to calm us down, right? Keep us in the moment. Hey, real quick before we let you go, today's the anniversary of John Lester's no-hitter. And you remember him sort of bursting on the scene. He battled a cancer and came back bigger, stronger. What impressed you most about Lester as a pitcher?
I go back to that because we really got into it. You know, we were doing the pregame, postgame. That was serious. I got into it because that was not necessarily a coming out party for Lester, but look where he went from there. I mean, you almost have to go back to that because what he had gone through, like he said before, the cancer and all, and he took off. And it was in there. We knew it was in there. Remember, he used to throw a ton of pitches. Remember, he'd throw 120 pitches in 5 innings. Well, he got better and better and better. Then he throws a no-no, and he's had a great, great career. It's been history ever since.
Yeah, no doubt. One that got away. No doubt about that. Good stuff, Eck, as always. Thanks for the visit. We appreciate you dropping by.
You got it.
Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley with me here at home with TC, presented by People's United Bank. We'll come back to wrap it up after this. At Home with TC on NESN is presented in part by the all-new City Grill from Kenyon Grill. Kenyon Grill is proud to be the official grill of the Boston Red Sox.